Definition of an EL learner is a student who is unable to perform standard classroom work in English. This includes students who do not speak English, do not speak English as their first language, or have difficulty reading, writing, speaking, or comprehending English. There are multiple instructional program models. The main distinction between the four are the focus on the amount of diversity in the students in the common language. The program models are ESL, bilingual, sheltered English instruction, and structured English immersion. In ESL, this is used in school districts that display a large diversity in the language minority population and multiple languages. The bilingual is used in school districts that have many students with the same first language, which they can be grouped together. This module uses the student's home language with their English language, so it's a bit of a combination. The sheltered English instruction is used in a setting of many different languages. There's not just one common language, but it uses English as a medium, such as with visual aids and gestures. And then the structured English immersion, this method or module only uses English and is based on or more focused on content rather than the language barrier and the language comprehension. The Arizona Language Development Approach is of value in seeing the potential in EL students rather than their limitations of being bilingual or not having English as their native tongue. They hold a sense of responsibility to ensure academic success and achievement in all of their students. The 4 principles of Arizona Language Development Approach are assess base behaviors and expectations, integrated instruction and disciplinary language and content, targeted and explicit language instruction, and assessment, monitoring, and feedback. These principles can be broken down to different concepts. For principle 1, the assessed base behaviors and expectation is preparing instruction to ensure students' cultural background and prior skills are acknowledged and establish a safe, welcoming, and inclusive environment. Once you've hit that principle, then you'll go to your second, which is where it focuses on teaching content and building confidence and proficiency of that language. Principle 3, targeting an explicit language instruction. This principle stresses that students are to be grouped with only English learners and focus on the language skills, their prior knowledge, and their capabilities of a group of EL students that is reached. So it's slowly progressing them into the classroom where they're not needing specific or catered to instructions. And then the principle 4, which is assessment, monitoring, feedback. This principle main design is to gather and analyze information of the students to analyze information to compare what students have learned and what they're able to comprehend, and then what they are able to apply from that comprehension. Once this information is assessed, the teacher can adapt their instruction depending on what skill levels they are at to meet the unique needs of each of their EL students. Student agency and importance. I was very unfamiliar with this, so it took a little bit of research. Student agency is the concept built around the student with motivation, hope, positive mentality, input and control, and a sense of confidence. These concepts can empower instruction with EL students to have a sense of control of how they interact in their class and how they interact with their interests through the content that they are learning. This is important because it gives the EL students a sense of pride and control of what they're learning and the pace of their learning with their teacher or their EL teacher or their main classroom teacher. There are 5 research-based SEI models. There is newcomer, which students receive 120 minutes a day of targeted and integrated instruction. Pull out, which this is the name pretty much gives it. The students actually pulled out of class for 60 minutes of targeted instruction and 60 minutes of integrated instruction. In most of these modules, the majority of them, the core instruction should not be missed, and most of them are only with their EL students when they're pulled out or when they are talked to. The 2 hour, another kind of their name gives it, students are given 120 minutes per day of targeted instruction, and this is where they do not need to miss their core instruction of their class. It should not be or should be only with their EL students. And then 50-50, how I or 50-50 dual language immersion, how I remembered it is all of these module names are giving you clues of what this EL student will be going through. So this is a slow approach or extended approach of immersion for EL students, and it's half of their school day will be in the English classroom, their main classroom, and then the other half of the day is in a classroom where their native tongue is spoke, which would be Spanish. This would happen in a school district that has the main diverse language would be Spanish. This wouldn't work very well if you had a district that had a diverse of many languages. That concludes my assignment, and I hope that you enjoyed it.